Hey there, I'm Mike Gillette, your host, and this is the Soundscape series 1937, Part 9, Episode 41 of When Radio Ruled. This podcast is a montage of excerpts from old-time radio shows performed live and broadcast May 9 to May 23, 1937, starring Don Ameche, Warner Janssen, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, Dorothy Lamour, W.C. Fields, Eddie Cantor, Jimmy Wallington, Fibber, McGee and Molly, Cecil B. DeMille, Rudy Vallee, J.B. Priestley, Kenny Baker, Jack Benny, Andy Devine, Don Wilson, Carole Lombard, Mrs. James Roosevelt, FDR's mother, Maurice Evans, Kate Smith, Phil Harris, and more. Featured songs include Eddie Cantor, How You Gonna Keep 'Em Down on the Farm After They've Seen Paree, Margie, Wake Up and Live, Kenny Baker and Jack Benny, Gonna Sit Right Down and Write Myself a Letter, Rudy Vallee, My Little Buckaroo, Kate Smith, They Can't Take That Away From Me, Phil Harris, Nobody. These soundscapes are the result of the research phase of the When Radio Ruled historical documentary series. In order to find the best old-time radio excerpts to express the essence of the era, I listened to hundreds of hours of old-time radio broadcasts, looking for the most interesting bits. When I hear something outstanding, a song or a joke or a comedy sketch, a news report or an interview, I add it to a best of clip reel, so I can easily find all the best excerpts when creating the documentary. But not everything can get in the final version. For 1937, I boiled 6.3 days of programming down to 27 hours of excerpts, from which a little under 5 hours made the final cut. And it seems like such a waste. Listening to these clip reels is one of my favorite parts of the process. I don't remember what I put on each reel, so they contain one unexpected gem after another, and I want to share that experience with you. These excerpts are offered without commentary for your entertainment and education. So here are voices from 1937. Voices sadly now silenced. Great performers living again because you're listening to them perform live now.
This is the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and this is Don Ameche. Tonight we welcome back to health and heartiness W.C. Fields. In this we are joined by Edgar Bergen and his famous dummy Charlie McCarthy, Dorothy Lamour, Hollywood's latest singing glamour girls, Dick Rodgers and Larry Hart, two of America's leading composers, and Ray Middleton to sing Rodgers and Hart's most striking composition, golden-haired Anne Harding, back from the London stage, and her husband Werner Janssen, America's foremost conductor, who interprets one of the hit tunes of the day, Too Marvelous for Words. first appearance on the Rudy Vallee Hour just a few months ago, Edgar and Charlie have zoomed to the top of the heap in the field of comedy. So, Mr. Edgar Bergen, speak for yourself.
Thank you, Don. That was very nice. Didn't you like it, Charlie?
Well, yes and no. I still miss Rudy Vallee. I don't know. I'm just not happy, that's all.
Not happy in Hollywood?
No. Mr. Bergen, my body may be in Hollywood, but my soul is still in Radio City.
Well, after you've been here a while and met everybody, Charlie, you'll soon learn to like Hollywood.
Uh-huh. Mr. Ameche, how long have you been here?
Oh, just about a year, I guess.
Uh-huh. What do you do?
Charlie.
What?
No, don't you know Charlie Don is in pictures?
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Ooh, fascinating work, that extra business, isn't it?
Don Ameche's a star, remember? You saw him in 1 in a Million.
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Which one was he?
Well, why, he was Sonia Henny's leading man.
Oh, Sonia Henny. Swell skate, huh?
Yes, Charlie, she's positively lovely.
Yeah? Well, if you're so positive about it, you don't happen to know her phone number, do you?
You certainly overrate yourself, young man.
Oh, I don't know about that. I did pretty well with the stewardess on the airplane coming out here.
Oh, yeah.
Such service. Served me lunch, and she talked to me, and she slapped my face.
And you certainly deserved it, too, young man. Yes, such conduct on the plane, it was shameful.
What did I do that was wrong? What did I do? Name 5 things.
In the first place, what in the world possessed you to go back there in the washroom and drop pop bottles out of the airplane?
Oh, that, yes. I was playing bomber.
And then you talked to the pilot.
Yeah, but why? I don't know why they serve those at lunch in those paper cups and those paper dishes.
Oh, well, that's to save weight.
Oh, was that so?
Oh, yes. Every pound counts.
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that why they made the hand towels so small, too?
Oh, I didn't think the hand towels were so small.
Well, they were so small, I was almost ashamed to put them in my suitcase.
Well, now, I'm really ashamed of you, Charlie.
Are you really?
Yes. Don't you ever stop to regret your actions?
Oh, I'm too busy thinking what to do next. Anyway, we got here, didn't we?
Yes.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
Now, I suggested tomorrow we should visit the studios or go fishing.
No. I'm sorry, but tomorrow I have to look for a house in the suburbs.
Oh, do you?
Yes. And then, of course, comes the servant problem.
Oh, just that. Well, if you get stuck for a butler, remember, I'm trained.
That's right.
Yes, you rehearsed me, remember? To go as Rudy Vallee's valet?
That's right. And if I remember correctly, you were a terrible mess at it.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I remembered everything you told me.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I'd be glad to help you out temporarily, and besides, I can use the cash.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure that I can use you.
Well, I'm sure I can use the cash.
Well, I believe in letting a boy work for his money.
Yes, you've proven that.
Yes. And I will consider you.
Yeah?
Yes. But remember, Charlie, always efficiency.
Oh, yes.
And always courtesy.
Oh, definitely, my lord.
Yes. And the name will be Bertram.
Good old Bertram.
Yes. And at no time must there be any incident.
Oh, that is the fault, my lord. Oh,
And remember, Charlie, Thursday I rest.
Quite so.
I see no visitors on Thursday.
Oh, don't you?
No. Thursday is my not-at-home day.
You're not at home day?
That's right.
Where do you go?
I stay at home.
Oh, you stay... Oh, that's marvelous. Marvelous. A bit sneaky, eh, what?
Yeah. Now the thing is, if someone comes to the door, what do you say?
We don't need any.
No. No, I mean, suppose a friend of mine, for example, suppose Lord Fithersby of England should come and call on me.
Yeah?
Yes. What do you say?
Is it Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
Uh-oh. No go.
No go, that's right.
I give him the bum's rush.
No. No, you must give him the greatest courtesy.
Is that so?
Yes. That is where tact is required.
Mm-hmm.
Now, suppose I'm Lord Fithersby.
Uh-huh.
I'm calling to see Mr. Bergen.
Very good.
Yes, all right. Now, you're the butler.
Very good, my lord. Go ahead.
I'm at the door now.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, knock, your lord. How do you do, Lord Fithersby?
Now, wait a minute. How do you know it's Lord Fithersby?
Oh, you just told me.
Oh. You don't.
I know. I'm sorry. Knock again.
First you ask the name.
That's right.
Yes.
Hello. Come in. What's your name, Lord Fithersby?
No.
What's the name?
That's better.
Uh-huh.
Yes. My name is Lord Fithersby.
Very good, sir.
Yes. I would like to see Mr. Bergen.
I'm sorry, but it's Thursday, if you know what I mean. He's not in.
He's not in.
Well,
where is he?
He's in and he's out. He's in and he's out. He's puffing about, as it were.
Well, just what is he doing?
At the moment, he's sleeping.
Sleeping. Then he's not out.
No, he's all in.
He's all in.
And that's why I didn't go out. But if you think you're going to see him, you're out of luck.
Yes. But I'm Lord Sithersby from the Isle of Wight.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, I suggest you wait until tomorrow.
No.
Do I get the job?
Well, not so fast, you see. Now, there's a questionnaire to fill out.
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything about your character.
Well, I'm taking the same chances with you know.
Yes, I know.
Now, what about the salary?
Oh, the salary.
Yes, there is the salary, I hope.
Yes. Well, the salary, it will be a small starting salary.
A small starting salary.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But it will start.
It will start. It can limp along. Oh, yes.
Could you say how small it would be?
I'm awfully sorry, Charlie. I can't say how small it will be.
Oh, they don't make money that small, huh?
Oh, go away.
Dorothy Lamour, Hollywood's newest star. Beautiful, versatile, glamorous.
Yes, and in addition to that, she's not bad. She's not half bad, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, Charlie. You're very cute.
You're kind of cute yourself. Now, considering that we're going to be working together, I think we ought to be good friends, don't you?
Yes, Charlie, we all ought to be good friends, but,
Now, don't cramp my style, Ameche.
I'm sorry.
Miss Lamour.
Yes, Charlie.
Would you care, how about a lemonade or something?
Now, Charlie, please postpone your lemonade invitation till later, will you?
All right. I bow to art, but I defer to Dorothy. Curtsy?
Thank you, Charlie. Curtsy.
As a result of one curtsy to another, Dorothy Lamour sings What Will I Tell My Heart?
You know, Mr. Bergen,
Yes?
I've always wondered why they ring those bells.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't suppose it's to wake up the people, do you?
Well, I see you're back, Charlie.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Ameche. Yes, indeed. I go, but I return.
Yes, that's inevitable. I have the very great pleasure now of welcoming back to good health and into last circulation our friend W.C. Fields, who makes his first appearance since a serious illness which kept him off the stage and out of pictures for over a year. And now he returns fully recovered to say hello. W.C. Fields. Well, Mr. Fields, I'm sure you'll feel at home because here's your old Follies piano player, Werner Janssen.
Oh, yes. Hi, Jackson. I've known Werner Jackson for quite a spell.
Mr. Fields, the name is Janssen, Werner Janssen.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Janssen. Yeah. Hi, Werner. Cute little fellow, isn't he?
What,
how's everything?
Mr. Fields, that's Charlie McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, so it is. Honey. Hi, Charlie.
How do you do, Mr. Fields? How do you do?
Put on quite a little weight since I saw him last night, Mr. Bergen.
Now, Mr. Fields, listen. Will you tell us about the accident that started your illness?
Oh, yes, half a tick. You are Mr. Bergen, aren't you?
No, Mr. Fields. That's Miss Harding.
Oh, yes, I see. Yes, I know Miss Harding very well. How's your partner, Miss Laurel?
No, Mr. Fields. You're confused with Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, yeah, how silly of me. I beg your pardon, Miss Laurel.
Now, Mr. Fields, listen. Everybody is impatiently waiting to hear about your recovery. Now, if you'll kindly...
Yes, certainly. Excuse me, Mr. Bergen.
No, I'm Don Ameche, remember?
Oh, yes. Remind me to ask the dummy a few questions after I said hello to the folks. Yeah. There. How old is Charlie McCarthy?
He's 12 years old.
12 years old. How interesting. How about if the little nipper will sing me a song?
Yeah, I will if you give me $10.
$10, eh? He's more than 12.
Well, he's really older than he looks, you see. He was hewn out of an old oak tree.
His face looks as though it's hewn out of a piece of sassafras root.
How is that so, huh? Well, if they had to cut your face out of a piece of wood, they'd have to use redwood for a nose. And an ample bit of it, too, I might say.
You too, eh?
Charlie. All right, Mr. Fields. Now about that serious illness of yours.
Oh, yes, of course. I was pretty redwood for a nose. He's a pretty fresh little punk, isn't he? Redwood for a nose. You're full of termites.
The guy is drunk.
Take him away. Draws flies. Look here, I may be drunk, but I'll be sober tomorrow, and you'll still be full of termites.
I'm glad to see you looking so well, W.C. You don't mind if I call you W.C., do you?
Oh, no, I guess not. No. It is a bit confusing, though. In Europe, royally always referred to me as the W.C. You know, John Ameche, I could call you D.A., but the folks would think I was in trouble again.
You know, from the reports I got, you surely have had your share of trouble. They said you were at death's door.
Yes, I was.
Well, what did the doctors do?
Oh, they did everything in their power to pull me through. Fine lot of boys, those medicos. Redwood for a nose. He's only 12, eh? What you wearing a wig for?
Now, look, W.C., I know you were very ill, but what I'd like to get at is just what really was the main trouble.
I had a very stubborn case of pernicious dandruff.
Pernicious dandruff?
Yeah.
Well, isn't it a fact that you broke your neck?
Oh, yes, I forgot all about that.
I heard you were run over by an automobile.
Yeah. Can you imagine that little rat pulling that track? If they ever carved one place out of redwood?
Yeah.
Use redwood for a nose.
Now,
eh?
W.C., please. How did you come to break your neck?
I didn't come to break my neck. I came to ride a bicycle. I should have stuck to my velocipede.
You were riding your bicycle and...
A Paramount truck loaded with props.
Now, please don't mention any names. Just say a truck.
Oh, yeah, but it was a Paramount truck.
Yes, I know, but this is a Chase and Sanborn program.
Well, I can say it was a Chase and Sanborn truck.
Yeah, that's fine. Fine. Now go on.
But if you want to know the truth, it really was a Paramount truck.
I'm sorry I mentioned it. Now go on.
Well, anyway, a truck.
Yeah, a truck.
Owned by Paramount.
Now, please, Mr. Fields, will you please go
Well,
on?
look, you keep interfering all the time. A Paramount truck backed over me and broke my neck. Could I say a Paramount truck loaded with Chase and Sanborn coffee? Would that be all right? Can you imagine that little rat redwood for a nose? Now, I didn't like that ample bit of it, too. Wonder how I'd like to have my nose filled with nickels. Wouldn't mind that, would he?
Now, Mr. Fields, you've told us the truck ran over you and you broke your neck. Now, please, forget all about Charlie. What happened next?
Well, it took me to a hospital.
You were in the hospital for quite a siege, weren't you?
10 weeks.
Of course, you had a pretty nurse.
The one I had false teeth and a glass eye. But I suppose you would say she was pretty. And she was gentle as a mountain lion. And she weighed as much as a Paramount truck.
Quiet. Don't say it.
See, you didn't wait. See, I filled with Chase and Sanborn coffee.
All right. Well, what was the doctor's exact diagnosis of your ailment? Just a broken neck?
No, the croaker said I had mogo on the go-go-go. Or what is known to medical science as Ralph Hidalgo.
Well, what does that all add up to in English?
A broken neck coupled with a very stubborn case of pernicious dandruff.
Yeah. When you got home, something else happened, didn't it?
I was ingurgitating an invigorating stimulant that I call red milk. And I slipped down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, well, what was the breakage in that nonstop flight?
I fractured the southernmost portion of my spinal column. And to my great dismay, I discovered I'd spilled half of the tasty nectar. Can you imagine that little rat? Redwood for a nose? Don't let him get away, will you? Hold him.
Yeah, now, after your three-point landing, what did they do?
Oh, they refilled my glass, and off we went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Clang, clang, clang.
WC.
What is this sound I hear?
Wait a minute.
The ambulance is coming.
Yeah,
yes,
look.
the sirens ringing
Yeah,
clear.
but WC, now wait
See
until
the pretty nurses laugh and dance
WC,
and shout.
wait a minute. We
Whilst the brave interns
Wait a minute. Just
bring the stretchers out.
WC, now wait.
Doctors brandishing their sharp knives.
WC, will you wait a minute, please?
Say, I wrote most of that myself. It's pretty good.
Where were we?
I don't know where you are, but there I was in my same beloved cot back in the hospital.
Yeah, you weren't out of the hospital long, were you?
Just long enough to drink my lunch. And then, Redwood for a nose. I'll take baby Leroy in preference to him anytime. And he's no bargain.
Oh, come on, Mr. Fields. Forgive and forget. I seem to recall that in Poppy you had yourself another accident.
Yes, whilst cavorting in Poppy, I was again compelled to venture on a high bicycle. I instructed the boys to catch me in case I fell off.
And did they catch you?
Yes, on the first bound. Clang, 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 what is this sound I hear? The ambulance is coming.
So you were off to the hospital for another 10 weeks, huh?
Yes, and this time I enjoyed my convalescence, having a nervous breakdown.
For 10 weeks?
No. The run was curtailed on account of my developing low-bar pneumonia. They put me in an oxygen tent. I thought I was camping.
What do you mean?
After I played 3 weeks of Fields the Campfire Girl, I returned to play out my open 2 weeks of nervous breakdown.
And what next?
A pulled tendon, broken left foot, Paget's disease, double vision, infected toe, more nervous breakdown. They came so fast and furious it was difficult to distinguish them from perfect health. I had Miffentip and Boffindale.
What?
Oh, don't ask me what they are. And a slip sacroiliac.
A slip what?
Sacroiliac. S-A-C-R-O hyphen. You're on your own from there on.
Well, the doctors cured you of everything, didn't they?
Yes, everything but that stubborn case of pernicious dandruff. It was ferocious, Ratty. Clang, clang, clang.
Clang, 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 clang. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, I wonder what Rudy Vallee is doing in London tonight. Dear old Rudy.
What a voice. What a voice. Charlie.
Yes, and what a right uppercut, too. Woo-woo.
Charlie, I must ask you to remember that this is the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and the boss is not Rudy Vallee, it's Don Ameche.
Who did he ever lick?
In shape right now, Charlie, and here's my trainer, John Heaston.
Thank you, Don Ameche.
You know, this has certainly been an exciting week for you.
Oh, everything has happened this week, Jimmy. Even the big motion picture strike.
Oh, did the strike affect you, Eddie?
Well, I should say it did. I was doing a scene on the 20th Century Fox lot with Alice Faye, and just as I started to kiss her, the strike broke right in my purse.
I see that stopped the scene, eh?
No, Jimmy. In the middle of the kiss, a delegate came in, and the carpenters went out. I kept right on kissing.
Oh, yeah.
Another delegate came in, and the property men went out. I kept right on kissing.
You would.
Another delegate came in, and the lights went out. But I kept right on kissing.
Sure.
Then Ida came in, and I went out.
Seriously, what do you think's going to happen to the strike, Eddie?
Jimmy, I know that the producers are sensible and the actors are sensible, and I'm sure they'll get together if the producers give in.
Yeah, you're right, Eddie.
I want to put you on my program. I have a contract here for you. Now about salary. How much do you want?
How much are you getting?
Yeah. Say, I'm all right. I'm getting what I deserve.
Don't tell me you're on release.
Last night in your library, I picked up this book.
Jimmy, those are my press clippings, you burglar.
Oh, now, never mind. You've got to go through with it now. I noticed from your clippings that although you started with Ziegfeld in 1916, that it wasn't until the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919 that your name went up as a star.
Well, that's right, James. Gee, what a thrill that was.
Oh, it must have been a great opening night.
It was. The New Amsterdam Theater was packed with celebrities. Diamond Jim Brady, the Vanderbilts, the Harrimans, Ambassador Gerard. Everybody was there.
Were you nervous?
Well, the top of my body was all right, but my knees were doing a rumba. I was standing in the wings waiting to go on. John Steele and the chorus of Ziegfeld's glorified girls were on the stage singing Irving Berlin's smash hit.
All right, Eddie. Come on, you're on next.
I know it. Gee, all these years I wanted to be a star, and now that my big night is here, I'm almost afraid.
Buck up. We all know you're going to be a big hit. Oh, here's a telegram that just came for you.
Thanks. It's from my best friend in California. Listen, go out there and mop up. I'm pulling for your pal. Signed, Bill.
Oh, that's swell.
Yes? There never was a guy like Will Rogers.
Eddie. All right, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. You're on. There's your exit music. Good luck, kid. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is certainly a wonderful opening night. Think of it. You all paid $11 a seat for this show. But the lovely girls here are really worth the price of admission themselves. Ziegfeld advertises them as having the most beautiful faces in the world. But from the way they're dressed tonight, you'll never know. You know, the other day the papers made a big fuss because in Rex's restaurant, a woman got a pearl out of an oyster. That's nothing. We got a girl in this show who got a diamond bracelet out of an old crab. Of course, I'm not as important as the other principals in the show. I guess that's why they gave me a dressing room up on the 5th floor near the chorus girls. I had to pass by all their rooms just to get a drink of water, and they insist on leaving their doors open. Boy, was I thirsty. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to sing a brand new song. The boys have just been back from France a short time, so I'm dedicating this song to them. Reuben, I've been thinking, said his wifey dear. Now that all is peaceful and calm, the boys will soon be back on the farm. Mr. Reuben started winking, slowly rubbed his chin. He pulled his chair up close to Mother, and he asked her with a grin, how you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paree? How you gonna keep them away from Broadway, jazzing around, painting the town? How you gonna keep them away from harm? That's a mystery. They cannot bounce a cow upon their knees. They'd rather bounce a polly woo wee wee. How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paree? How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paree? How you gonna keep them away from Broadway, dancing around, painting the town? How you gonna keep them away from harm? That's a mystery. Imagine Reuben when he meets his pa. He'll kiss his cheek and holler, woo, la, la. How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paree?
Hey, what's the idea of making me get a job? I got a job broadcasting for Johnson's Wax and making pictures for Paramount. Why, they'll probably start me in at $20,000 a week.
Yeah, but that job may only last 8 or 10 weeks. What are you going to do the rest of the year? Starve to death?
Well, I'm thrifty.
Just the same, I think you should have something steady to do.
Oh, sure.
You can make $15 or $20 a week that we could put right in the bank and forget it.
I got a better memory than that.
I think you have a definite place in our organization. Oh, how are you on self-defense?
Who, me? Why, shucks. When I was a special police agent and Java chief, I was expert in jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu McGee, I was known as in them days.
Oh, my.
Jiu-jitsu McGee, the jumping, jabbing genius, jeering the jealous Japanese Johnnies, and joyfully jolting the jugglers of jittery jailbirds from Java to Japan. I made it.
you have all heard men say something like this.
Pretty? No, not exactly. But let me tell you something. Boy, she's got a way with her. There's something about her that sort of gets you.
When a man talks that way about a girl, you can be sure she's learned the secret of being really attractive to men. That skillful and beautiful little screen star Bette Davis says this. You girls who want to be popular, here's something to remember. The man was never born who could resist the charm of perfect daintiness. The least fault against it just ruins illusions, spoils romance. The easiest, most delightful way I know to protect daintiness is to bathe with Lux toilet soap. The active lather leaves skin really sweet, fragrant with the delicate perfume you'll love. Try it. I turn our microphone over to Hollywood's celebrated producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings. Too bad that you're unable to attend the coronation. I regret it tremendously. I know this program is frequently heard across the ocean and all over England. And although I can't be there on Wednesday, I can at least say what's in my heart. God save the King. In which sentiment, I'm sure we all join you. Of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Bette Davis, Fred McMurray, and John Beale in Another Language. As a special guest of honor, you will hear also from the mother of our president, Mrs. James Roosevelt. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Hi-ho, everybody. This is Rudy Vallee and London Company. England crowned a king yesterday, and there's never been a show as glorious in the history of the world. To the majestic symphony of coronation, we make our own exceedingly modest contribution for the second hour of entertainment in the British manner. Now that the great day is over, with the captains and kings resting up in their hotel suites, we're inclined to wonder in a sort of dazed way about the meaning of it all. And to answer our questions and yours, we have engaged one of England's notable men of letters, Mr. J.B. Priestley. Mr. Priestley's latest book, Midnight on the Desert, is currently a bestseller in America. Many of you have read his English Journey. Many more of you know his novel, English Pavement. And the one he's so proud of hearing mentioned, The Good Companion. We are honored to present Mr. J.B. Priestley. Mr. Priestley, we want to ask you why. Why this almost hysterical enthusiasm? Why should a city go mad? What's behind it all?
The cynic, Mr. Vallee, would tell you that this week's events in London have had behind them one of the most tremendous campaigns of boost and ballyhoo the world's ever known. Enough to make the annual commercial of orgy of Christmas look like the winter conference of a secret society.
That's what the cynic says.
Yes, and there is some truth in it. On the other hand, the sentimental patriotic account is that this coronation is the opportunity for the English-speaking peoples to show their loyalty, devotion, and affection toward the crown. The personages who were riding to Westminster Abbey yesterday in glass coaches, just like characters in a fairy tale, are symbols of the unity of a great race.
That seems like good common sense to me, Mr. Priestley.
Yes, there's some truth in that, too. The ballyhoo's been there, but so have the genuine loyalty, devotion, and affection. But I don't believe either of these explanations, or both of them put together, tell us why English-speaking people everywhere have been so passionately eager to enter into the spirit of the occasion. There are deeper reasons, and I think they're quite important.
Do these reasons have something to do with the way people live nowadays, perhaps?
Yes, you see, modern life, especially in our great industrial democracies, tends to be largely monotonous and colorless. Now, human beings like a show. This is something that all the dictators understand. It's true that nowadays we're provided with many shows. I've had a hand in providing some of them, and of course so have you.
In a small way, yes.
I thought in a very large way. But they're not the kind of shows I mean. They're not significant pageantry. And as history proves, man has a passion for significant pageantry. A great show means something. All the famous cities of the past, from Thebes to Florence, Babylon to medieval Paris and London, glittered with this kind of pageantry. Even their ordinary life was full of it, full of significant or symbolic shapes and colors. Just notice how, when we do celebrate on a big scale, we have to imitate our medieval ancestors and use banners and flags and colored shields.
That is true. You think this coronation gives people something they deeply need?
Yes, because our life shouldn't be dull and dingy and full of shows that don't mean anything. Look at the interest you Americans have in the coronation. And you weren't brought up to owe any loyalty and affection to the British monarchy, but you're starved of traditional ceremonies. You clutch at any bit of significant pageantry, and a superb show that does at least mean something fascinates and moves you.
And that's the real reason for all this enthusiasm?
One of them. Another is that we not only live now in a world of empty shows and dingy routine, but also in a world that has lately offered us more occasions for dismay, fear, and sorrow than it has for the expression of joy. Now here's an excuse with tradition behind it for the public expression of joy, for gay flags and colored lights and bands playing and cheering. And we all need more joy, not more mechanical pleasure, but sheer joy. So we snatch at this excuse for it. Here's an opportunity not to be missed.
Well, you English people certainly haven't missed it.
No, it's been a great time. But I've one last word. If we can spend so much wealth and energy and enthusiasm on the crowning of a king, we ought from now on to devote at least as much energy and enthusiasm to the greater task of ennobling and crowning a kingdom. Yes, God bless the king, but also God bless the people.
Thank you, Mr. Priestley.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter.
Write yourself a letter,
and
son?
make believe it came from you.
Can't you hear me calling when the leaves are gently falling?
I'm gonna say things oh so sweet.
Yeah, ma'am.
That will knock me off my feet.
Where's my dad?
With kisses at the bottom. Gee, I'm glad I got 'em. I'm gonna write and say I hope you're feeling better.
Lady, you're a fascinating baby.
And close with love the way you do.
And Jell-O, too.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter.
Pretty baby.
And make believe it came from you. Shot!
I'm very happy now to make way for Edgar Bergen, that most unusual fellow who always brings along his little pal, Charlie McCarthy, sits Charlie on his knee, and proceeds to speak for both. Well, Charlie, isn't it nice to be together again with all these interesting people?
Well, yes, it's swell except for one thing.
But life is not without its thorns.
Yes, well, in this case, it's a red nose.
Charlie, listen, I must ask you to remember that we're all just one big family.
Yes, and I know who the black sheep is, too.
Charlie, did you read that book I gave you on how to win friends?
Yes, I did.
Well, that's fine.
Yes.
And do you understand the rules?
I certainly do.
Yes, well, that's fine.
Yes, I remember everything. Let's see. Learning friends. The first one is be a good listener.
That's right.
The second one is talk about things that interest other people.
That's right.
The third is make them feel important.
And the fourth rule is don't argue.
That's right. It's a cinch. Watch me try it on Don.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Ameche.
Yes, Charlie.
Don't you think the cinema, well, and by the cinema, of course, I mean the motion picture as well. Don't you think it's making great strides in business?
In what respect?
Well, in making motion pictures, especially, simply marvelous. That forging ahead spirit, that pioneering stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, just what do you mean, Charlie?
Well, I don't know. What I mean is, do you think the magic lantern will ever come back?
Oh. Yes, Charlie, I even predict that someday pictures will actually talk.
Is that so? Well, it only goes to show you. Well, then you'll be all set with your singing voice, and I want to compliment you on that splendid singing last week.
Oh, well, thanks, Charlie, but really, I didn't think it was so good.
It was simply marvelous, that's all.
No, I disagree with you, Charlie.
It was simply superb, now, that's all.
Charlie, rule number 4, don't argue.
Oh, yes.
Well, no matter what you say, I don't think I sang very well.
Well, now that you mention it, it was pretty bad. That ought to stop it.
Well, I didn't think it was as bad as that, Charlie. You know, several of my friends suggested I go to Italy.
To hide?
No, Charlie, to study.
Well, I'm for you, Don. For my money, you're the top. You're the real McCoy, pal. That's rule number 3, the oil.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm awfully glad to hear you say that, Charlie.
I don't like to talk about people, but as a singer, you have it all over that Ray Middleton, just like a tent.
Oh, now that's ridiculous. I only wish that I could sing like him.
Listen, pal, this is confidential. But I heard people after the broadcast last week, they were saying it was a shame the way he murdered that song, Never in a Million Years.
But he didn't sing that.
Don't try to shield him now.
No. I sang Never in a Million Years.
Wow. Oh, my.
There you go again.
Yes, I don't know. I try so hard, but nobody understands me.
No, I see that. I'm almost afraid, Charlie, to take you on this yachting party Tuesday, even as a servant.
Well, why? I didn't insult anybody as your butler last week, did I?
Of course, nobody called. No. Well, if I do take you on this yachting party, remember, you must follow the orders to the letter.
Oh, very good, sir.
Yes. And here are the duties for the day.
Yes. How late can I sleep?
Oh, yes. Well, you won't have to get up until 5:30.
5:30. In the morning?
In the morning.
Woo! What do I do?
Well, the first thing you do is get dressed.
Oh, thank you. I'd never thought of that.
Then you run the dog around the deck for 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes.
That's all. That's enough.
And then after breakfast, you promenade the dog for another 2 hours.
What, again?
That's right.
What's the idea?
Well, running the dog around builds him up.
Yeah, but it tears me down.
This is a very valuable dog.
Oh, forgive me for being...
After promenading the dog, you give him a bath. And then you press my clothes. And before lunch, you run the dog around again.
What, again?
Yes. And now after lunch...
I know. Run that seahound around the deck again.
And after an hour of bridge, you serve tea. Then you give the dog another bath.
Another bath? What are we on, a cold guard?
Then you lay out my dinner clothes, and...
Mr. Bergen, don't look now, but I think that dog wants to run around the deck again.
That's the idea.
I'm getting the knack of it now.
Yes. Then it's time to serve dinner. Wash the dishes, and at midnight you scrub the deck.
Very good, sir.
Now, you know what to do. Remember, the deck must be scrubbed every night.
Very good, sir. But I might suggest if I didn't run that dog around so much, I wouldn't have to scrub.
That will do it.
Thank you, Dorothy. That was lovely.
Yes, lovely. Lovely, Miss Lamour. It was really. It was really lovely. Tell me, is there love in your life?
Well, not really, Charlie.
Then you don't know what it means to be lonely, huh?
Are you lonely, Charlie?
All day I have nothing to do. At night I just walk and home to my empty room.
Oh, you poor darling.
Oh. No. My dear little diary, filled with nothing but empty pages. All those blankety blank pages.
Charlie, you're breaking my heart.
Every night the same thing. Nothing ever happens. Oh, Miss Lamour.
How about having dinner with me some night?
Oh, wonderful. Any night, Miss Lamour. Any night at all.
All right, then tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow? No go. Mae West is penciled in for tomorrow.
Charlie, you certainly get a lot of fun out of being the world's greatest imaginary Romeo. But all of us are interested in things that make life more enjoyable. And here's what Donald Briggs has to say.
Good meals make life pleasant in 2 ways. Through the flavor of good food and the agreeable way it revives you. And in both these ways, your meal is better when you serve rich, satisfying coffee. Your food tastes better and does more to refresh you. But be sure you serve coffee that really does add to your enjoyment. Get the blend made from the world's choice coffees. Chase and Sanborn coffee.
Bum, bum, bum. Bells ring. Everything happens, but I haven't spoken to Carole Lombard yet. Something must be done, Mr. Ameche.
Oh, now, Charlie, listen. Carole Lombard wouldn't speak to you. Well, why, she's dated the best man in Hollywood.
Why, she hasn't met the best man in Hollywood yet.
Very well, then, Charlie. Miss Lombard. Please. Miss Lombard, this is Charlie McCarthy.
Oh, Charlie, at last we meet.
Oh, Miss Lombard. I have so much to tell you.
Oh, Charlie.
Oh, Carole.
If I wouldn't be intruding...
Yeah, but you would be.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, and you scram too, Ameche.
Have it your own way, Charlie.
At last, Carole, we're alone. So long I've wanted to tell you how beautiful you are. How charming and stuff like that.
You're not just saying that, are you?
Oh, believe me, I swear by the stars above. Your smile, it's like a rose wet with the morning dew.
Oh, then you do love me. Say that you do. Tell me that you love me.
Well, what I meant to say was that you and I, that the both of us...
Oh, Charlie, from the first time I heard your voice, I fell madly in love with you.
Is that so? Well, it's nice. It's nice to be friends, isn't it?
Friends. Oh, this is love, really, real love.
Well,
undying love. You do love me.
Oh, gee. Well, I was... well, now let's be sensible about this.
You do love me.
Well, what I had in mind was a lemonade when I...
Lemonade? Oh, how can I think of that with you so near and
Yeah?
with this passionate, burning love I have for you?
Yeah. You poor thing. How she loves me. Oh, you'll meet someone else?
No, there can never be another. I must have you. Oh, let me hold you.
No.
Crush you.
No.
Without you, I die. I shall follow you to the end of the world and scream out my love for you.
Wait a minute.
Charlie.
Wait a minute. Oh, Mr. Bergen. Oh, Mr. Ameche. Help.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Fields.
Oh, hello, Warner. Where's your orchestra?
No, that's Edgar Bergen.
Oh, yes, I know. Don't tell me. Hello, Edwin.
Edgar.
Don't prompt me. I know.
Mr. Fields, Charlie wants to say something to you.
Yes.
Oh.
Hello, Mr. Fields.
Hello, blood poison.
I've been reading a book, Mr. Fields.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, well, this book taught me a lot of things. I want to apologize for the nasty way I talked last week about your nose being made of redwood.
Make nothing of it. Forget it. What were you saying, Mr. Ameche?
I can't forget it, though. I've been thinking about it ever since last Sunday.
There's the thought. Forget about it.
That's big of you, Mr. Fields. And now do you feel sorry that you said I was full of termites?
I guess I do. I really haven't had time to give it much thought.
You know, Charlie really loved you, Mr. Fields.
Yes, I do. But I don't think Mr. Fields loves me.
Now listen, that's gone far enough. I've been a gentleman up to now.
Why, what's the matter, Bill?
Well, he's not going to tell me I don't love him. I'll break every knot in his body. I want to tell you something. He didn't know that I was in the dressing room this afternoon, and I heard him telling Dorothy Lamour that from the looks of my nose, I must have been weaned on ketchup.
On ketchup?
Ah, that dirty little rat. He's a wool in sheep's... it's wool.
Oh, now look, Bill, consider Charlie's age. Consider his size.
Ah, he's a dirty little rat.
Oh. Look, really, Bill, you shouldn't say that about Charlie.
No, I really shouldn't say that about him because I love snakes. Some of my best friends, Don, are snakes.
Your best friends are snakes?
Yeah, particularly rattlesnakes. I'll never forget the time I found a rattlesnake imprisoned under a rock. He was there begging for succor. That means help. So I freed him, and with a grateful look in his eyes, he followed me home. Before I went to sleep that night, I made him a bed of one of my old undershirts. Yes, it was the undershirt. I wear woolen underwear, you know.
Yeah. Go on, Bill. Go on.
Summer and winter.
Now, look. Look, Bill, no one is interested in what you wear.
Well, that's funny. No man is interested in what another man wears. I had a blind dance.
What about the rattlesnake, Bill?
Don't be impatient. And as I bade the little rattlesnake good night, I patted him, it on the head.
Was it a him, her, or it?
To tell you the truth, Don, I don't know. I never looked. You know, he actually licked my hand. And just before the little fellow curled up to sleep, he tried to kiss me.
Oh, this is very, very romantic, Bill. You're really touching the strings of my heart.
Oh, it was a beautiful night. I went to bed.
Yeah. You went to bed.
Yes, I remember that very distinctly. Suddenly I awoke. A ruffian had entered my boudoir with a fowling piece. He said to me, "Reach for the ceiling." He didn't know the roof was blowing off 3 days before.
What happened to the ruffian, Bill?
Oh, he had his back to my beautiful little rattlesnake. There he lay, sweet little chap, breathing in pain, the tears running down his cheeks.
Well, I didn't know snakes had cheeks.
Call them what you may. Cheeks by any other name would still be cheeks to me. There he lay, as sick as a boiled owl.
Well, how do you know he was sick?
Oh, I really called a doctor. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. The little fellow sunk his fangs into the marauder's fetlock, held him tightly, whilst the marauder screamed with pain. My little friend, the snake, stuck his tail out the window and rattled for a constable.
Yes, Bill, that is indeed gratitude.
And may I say in conclusion that I always smoke Jason
Thank you, Bill, thank you.
Drink.
Thank you, Bill, thank you.
That little punk thinks I don't love him.
Thank you very much, WCP.
And I've got to give you credit for one thing.
What?
Do you remember when you said that the producers and the actors would be sensible and get together?
Oh, yes, I remember. I did say that, didn't I?
That's right. Well, within an hour after you made that statement, they did get together.
Uh-huh.
Cantor, you're really a little prophet.
Jimmy, when you speak of Cantor, never say little prophet.
Say, Eddie, did the movie strike affect you?
Yes, I was on my picture at 20th Century Fox when Darrell Zanuck rushed in and said, "Gentlemen, the dresses have just walked out and we can't find anyone to dress Simone.
And what happened, Eddie?
Immediately the place became a madhouse, Jimmy. Producers, directors, supervisors, everybody rushed in all directions to find Simone. It was disgraceful. I want to tell you something. If I didn't know a shortcut to her dressing room, they'd all beat me to it. I'm telling you.
Say, Eddie,
yeah.
All of the studios are being picketed, aren't they?
Yes, but the strikers aren't using the right people to picket, Jimmy.
No?
They ought to use girls like Jean Harlow on the picket line.
Why?
All she'd have to do would be to walk up and down and say, "Don't go in, boys. There's more fun out here." I wrote a book called How to Win a Wife.
Oh, then I want to get a book on how to lose the wife.
Lose a wife? Well, wait a minute. That means alimony. You know what that is, don't you?
Sure, alimony, that's like a game of Jack and Jill.
Alimony is like Jack and Jill?
That's right. If you don't pay the Jack, they throw you in jail.
Yep. Friends, last week I sang an old song hit called How You Gonna Keep 'Em Down on the Farm, which I introduced in the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919. You seem to enjoy it. So tonight I'm singing another old favorite written by Russell Robinson, Benny Davis, and Conrad. All right, Jack, let's have it. You may talk about your love affairs. Here's one I'd like to tell to you. All night long they sit upon the stairs. He holds her close and starts to coo. My little Margie, I'm always thinking of you, Margie. I'll tell the world I love you, don't forget your promise to me. 'Cause I have bought the common ring and everything for Margie. You've been my inspiration, days are never blue. And after all is said and done, there was really only one for Margie. Margie, it's you. Margie, I'm always thinking of you. Margie, I'll tell the world I love you, don't forget your promise to me. 'Cause I have bought the Margie, you've been my inspiration. Days I'll never blue. Why, you're the combination of every girl I've ever loved. Oh, Margie, Margie, it's you.
Fortunately, most mothers speak another language, the language of great and understanding heart. Such a mother talks to us tonight. She's sitting at this moment in the study of her home on East 65th Street in New York City. On the desk nearby is a photograph of her son, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking to us from New York, the mother of the President of the United States, Mrs. James Roosevelt.
Thank you, Mr. DeMille, for your invitation to take part in a program from your splendid Lux Radio Theater. It's a pleasure also to hear Miss Davis, whom I remember as a charming young lady when I met her in Washington. I think tonight that you're doing something even more important than entertainment. For through Mother Hallam, you're showing, it seems to me, many other mothers what not to be and why. Early in the second act of the play, there was one line that has stayed with me. Stella was speaking, and she said, "Let the boy at least try to find himself." That phrase might well be the watchword of every mother and father, too. A selfish, over-possessive mother so often means unhappy children. Unhappy because they are not free. Of course, I don't mean that a child should not be guided, but the child's own identity should never be smothered under that guidance. A boy or a girl may be your child, but at the same time, he is an individual. And perhaps first on the list of his training should be teaching that child to find himself. I get so impatient with mothers who say, "Oh, my boy never could do that." And when I hear it, I always want to say, "You mean you never let him do it?" I remember in my own experience it was hard for me always to see that, especially when my son wanted to climb tall trees or go hunting or other such hazardous expeditions. But my husband would always say to me, "Teach him how to do it right, and then let him go ahead." And when your child grows up, that's another time, when a mother must recognize her child as an individual in his own right. No matter how much you want your boy to be a lawyer, if he wants to be a painter, let him do it. If you don't, he will be unhappy as a lawyer and probably a very poor one. But with a sympathetic understanding, he may become a great artist. A final word to mothers now. Remember, your child's father may have some very good ideas, and his influence and cooperation are very important. You all know what happens when you say no when your child answers, "But Daddy says I may." Help your son develop a character of his own. Let him find himself. You'll be a very happy mother when you can point to your child's achievements and say he did it all himself.
Our thanks, Mrs. Roosevelt, for honoring us with your presence. It's inspiring to hear from you, and I know mothers throughout America will cherish your words.
Seriously, Rudy, what was it impressed you most about the coronation?
The thing that impressed me most, Maurice, was the spirit of the crowds the night before Coronation Day. They began to gather 24 hours ahead of time along the procession route, and by midnight of May 11th, the streets were lined 10 deep with campers out. High-hearted, gay thousands there to sing the night away before seeing their king in the morning. Didn't you hear it broadcast over here?
Yes, I did. The only trouble was that it was broadcasted about 5 o'clock in the morning. The bands kept on playing God Save the King every 10 minutes or so. I had a terrible time standing up in bed. But it must have been quite a show. I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh, quite. But it had been all right, sort of off, you know.
What was that?
What was what?
What you just said.
Oh, that was just something I picked up in dear old London the last couple of weeks.
Good night. Are they talking like that at home now?
the light of western skies is shining down on you. Don't you know it's time for bed? Another day is through. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo. Don't you realize, my little buckaroo? It was from a tiny acorn that the oak tree grew. And remember, Buffalo Bill was once a kid like you. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo. Soon you're gonna ride the range like grown-up cowboys do. Now it's time that you were rounding up a dream or two. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo.
When skies seem full of clouds with rain, and I'm all filled with naught but pain, who soothes my thumping brain? Nobody. Then when that winter comes with all that snow and sleet, here I am all hungry, and I got cold feet. Who says, why don't you come on in here, bud? Can't you see we're fixing to eat? Nobody. Now, I ain't never done nothing. I ain't never done a solitary thing to nobody, as far as I know. And I know very well that I ain't never got myself nothing from nobody at no time. So until I gets myself something from somebody at some time, I ain't gonna do nothing for nobody at no time. Now when summer comes so cool and clear, and my friends sort of see me edging there, who says, why don't you break down and come on in here? Can't you see we fixing to have a beer? Nobody. And then when I tries so awful hard, and I schemes and plans to keep going around looking just as sharp as I can, who says, oh, have a look at that handsome man. Not a single soul. Then when all day long things kind of go amiss, you all know how they do, and I go on out home expecting to find a little bliss, who trips up to me lightly and plants upon my cheek a glowing kiss? You know, folks, I had a steak. I mean a pretty. Then some time ago, I took that sauce bottle and worked out on it pretty good. But, who says you better look out what you're doing, boy, because that sauce is Tabasco. Nobody. Can't understand it. I ain't done nothing. Can you hear me? I ain't molested or irrigated around with no one. That's right. And you know yourself, folks, that there ain't nobody in the habit of coming up and giving you anything nowadays, kind of offhand like, is it? Well, until I get myself something from somebody at some time, hear ye, I ain't gonna do nothing for nobody at no time. Because I believes in that old saying, let us do unto the others as we would have the others do unto us. Yeah.
Oh, gee, Eddie, I wonder what the program will be like 6 years from now.
I'll show you, James. Let's look into the future and bring the broadcast of May the 23rd, 1943. Music, Renard, go ahead.
And now, here is His Honor the Mayor of Texaco Town, Eddie Cantor.
Wait a minute. Jimmy, that's wrong. I'm not the mayor anymore.
Oh?
6 years have passed. I'm the president of the company now.
Oh, you're President Cantor now.
I told you all I needed was a little time.
Well, so you're the president of Texaco.
Not Texaco, Jimmy. This is 1943, and it's Texacantor. That's the name.
Well, Eddie, you know, I'm glad to see that I'm still here after 6 years.
Yep.
Say, what happened to Renard?
Oh, did you hear about it?
No, what?
Renard got so fat he couldn't get into the studio, so they built the Columbia network around him.
Oh, yes, and little Bobby Breen, has he changed much?
Well, you can see for yourself. There he is, passing the studio now. Hello, Bobby.
Hello, Daddy. How are you?
So Bobby Breen's a bass now, eh? Say,
Yes.
did anything happen to Deanna's voice?
Oh, no. No, Jimmy, it's as lovely as ever. Deanna Durbin and Bobby Breen are both singing in the Metropolitan Opera. I think that's where they both belong, don't you? Jimmy, you finish the broadcast by yourself. I've got to meet Ida and my 10 daughters.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. 10 daughters? I thought you only had 5.
Don't forget, James, this is 1943. Renard, have the boys play for me so I can entertain my good friend here. Go ahead, will you? Wake up and live. Don't mind the rainy patter, and you will find it's mind over matter. Dark clouds will break up if you will wake up and live. Wake up and live. Show the stuff you're made of. Just follow through. What are you afraid of? You'll try it, won't you? Why don't you wake up and live? Come out of your shell. Hey, fella, find your place in the sun. Come out of your shell. Say, fella, just be a go-getting son of a gun. Wake up and live. If Lady Luck is yawning, up on your toes, a better day is dawning. Don't let up, get up and give. Give yourself a shake-up, mister. Wake up and live. 'Cause life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. It's too mysterious what happens. You work, you slave, you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. So wake up and live. If Lady Luck is yawning, up on your toes, a better day is dawning. Don't let up, get up and give. Give yourself a shake-up, mister. Wake up and live.
Thanks for listening to 1937 Part 9, the Soundscape's audio montage series number 18 from When Radio Ruled. I'm Mike Gillette, your host. When Radio Ruled and the Soundscape series are before TV productions. Copyright 2022.